Okay, hi there, everybody. Welcome to this masterclass. We're looking at mastering lead tracking with CRM tools. And this is going to be using LinkedIn is the primary platform that I use to kind of close more sales for your business. We're going to look into kind of what CRM is in a bit of detail, but here's a quick overview of the agenda. Let's just share my screen. Here we go. So we've got, I'm going to do an introduction. I'm going to look at why you need a CRM tool for lead tracking, how to set up an efficient CRM lead tracking system. We're going to talk about importing and organizing LinkedIn leads into your CRM system, and how to nurture your leads with some top tips, looking at workflows and automations as well, and then how to close more deals and sales with accurate lead tracking data. And that closing bit is all about, looking at the analytics and the reports. So that's the agenda for today. We called the session, let's just go back a slide. There we go. It was called Mastering Lead Tracking with CRM Tools from LinkedIn Closing Sales. I'm your host, Alex Smith. I'm going to kick off with a bit of an introduction. Normally these sessions are kind of 25 minutes of me talking, and then we kind of open the door to any other members that join us on the Zoom call. There's nobody on today at the moment, so we'll just see people might hop in a bit later on. So I'm your host, Alex Smith, and I'm the founder of Leadeth. And what is Leadeth? Leadeth is a powerful LinkedIn lead generation agency, and we exist to support business owners achieve their sales goals through automating their lead generation in LinkedIn. Bit of a backstory then. So I was working for a national membership organization called the Federation of Small Businesses here in the UK. And I was going out cold calling, door knocking in industrial estates, getting people to become members. And there was about 70, 80 representatives like me, all on commission only, working their little regions. COVID came, we were unable to go door knocking. We were kind of homebound and locked in. And then picking up the phone, people just weren't answering the phone anymore. So I thought there's got to be a smarter solution here. So I looked at the market, identified 10 different software tools that kind of automated that process for me. Social selling through LinkedIn, and bingo, I was getting my quota straight away. I was getting 10 members per month, which was fantastic. And other MAs from the organization said, hey up Alex, how are you doing this? Maybe you can do it for me as well. So I ended up managing about 20 other FSB representatives, and they're all generating really good, credible leads, hitting their quotas. So that's a bit of a backstory how I came into kind of lead generation. I'm also the director of DoorWeb. DoorWeb's a digital marketing agency, and we've built in the last kind of 4 or 5 years around about 40 websites. Currently host about 34 of those sites, maintain them for my clients. So that's a little bit about me. Now, whenever I do one of these presentations, I love to introduce these marketing models because they're pivotal in the topic that we're looking at, especially kind of CRM tools. So the first model here, this is called the funnel model. This is a very classic marketing model, and it describes a customer journey from the first touch point to right way down to purchase and beyond, where you're retaining that client. And it's called a funnel because, as you can see, the number of potential customers will decrease at each single stage of the journey. So the stages of the funnel are awareness, when your prospect becomes aware of your brand or your product. Then they've got the interest stage where they start to learn a bit more about it. And then they go down to consideration, where they're weighing up the options, comparing you with other people. And then finally, you go down to that purchase stage where they buy from you. And then you've got the retention bit, which is where we aim to keep them as long as possible as a customer. There's another model that I also look at, and that's the a bit more kind of a newer model, and this is the flywheel model, and this emphasizes kind of the ongoing relationship with the customer. So rather than just the initial sale, it's called the flywheel because it's like a flywheel effect. It's self-sustaining and it kind of grows over time. So the stages of this flywheel effect is the attract stage there, and that's when you interact with people and new prospects come to your brand. So a little bit like the attract bit on the other funnel. And then you've got the engage stage. So this is when you interact with them and they build a relationship, build that rapport, and then you delight them. You exceed their expectations, give them great experience, They know they're getting good value from you. And then they become an advocate. So they become loyal fans, and they spread the word about your brand. And that brings you back to attraction, because that affects new prospects into that whole buying journey. Now, Leadeth, as I said, is a software tool that exists to kind of give business owners more sales and more time. And it's probably the most cost-effective tool. When I dived into this presentation in a bit of detail, and I looked at all these different tools and how much people might be paying for the different tools, I started to think, wow, people are probably spending thousands each month on tools to do all this for them, whereas Leadeth does it all for you. So there's a roadmap which I've created, and that's a bit like a journey of understanding where customers are going from to. So we look at the target audience down here, step 1. We then move to priming your personal LinkedIn profile, and that's all about making sure that that target audience is in sync with your personal profile. And so that when they come to your LinkedIn profile, they can see exactly what you're about. There's clarity there, and they know, they just know what you're about and what the next step is. The next stage of the journey is to build out this LinkedIn outreach automation. So we use a lot of a clever tool, proprietary software that's fantastic, that does that job on autopilot. Once you've built a campaign, it's just filling that campaign with lots of prospects. And then the kind of natural progression from a LinkedIn outreach campaign is email outreach. So you've already connected with them, you've got their email address. Let's start sending them emails and being, fresh in their inbox every day. You've then got the video content element, and that's where I basically create video content with the client, and then we slice it up into 13 small segments that we can then recycle on LinkedIn. And there's a whole series on every element of this. So if you want to go back, check the other masterclasses, check the replays, have a look on YouTube, or subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can actually keep up to date with all these masterclasses that I'm delivering. The final stage there is appointment setting, and that's all about Calendly and today's discussion, which is around CRM systems. So let's kick off. CRM. What is a CRM system? So the dictionary definition, it's an abbreviation for customer relationship management. And it's kind of denotes strategies and software that will enable an organization to optimize its customer relations. Okay, so it's all about customer focused, managing that relationship. So why do you need a CRM tool for lead tracking? That's what we're going to look at. So the benefits are actually quite numerous. Firstly, a CRM tool can help you stay organized. It can help you to keep track of your leads a lot more effectively. And with a good CRM system in place, you can actually, you're able to quickly assess information on each lead, including their contact details, where they are in your sales funnel, your process, and any previous interactions that you may have had with them. Secondly, the CRM tool can help you by, you can actually personalize communications with leads. So by tracking their behavior and their interests, you can start to tailor an outreach that's really going to be relevant and engaging, and absolutely increases the chances of a conversion or a sale at the end. On the other hand, if you don't use a CRM tool, you've got serious risks, because without a system in place to keep track of your leads, you can easily lose track of important information, miss follow-ups, opportunities, or even kind of lose leads altogether. And you can get very lost with them, especially if you've got a LinkedIn strategy. A lot of people set up these automations on LinkedIn, and they're just constantly connecting with people, but they're not keeping track of things, and leads are getting lost, people are not getting responded to, and it's a nightmare. So now we've covered the benefits of and the risks of using a CRM tool. We're going to look at the different types of CRM tools that are available, and there's a variety of tools out there, ranging from simple spreadsheet style systems. You can build this yourself in Google Sheets or Excel. Or you can integrate with more sophisticated platforms like emailing software systems and social media platforms. But we're gonna dive into that a bit later on in the masterclass today. So what type of CRM tool could be right for you? I mean, that all depends on your business model, needs and budgets, and the features you require. And I'm going to share with you later some tips about G2.com, where you can compare different CRMs for your right niche or your right business model. So a quick stat, here we go. So the return on investment of a contact relationship management software system, when properly implemented, can exceed, check this out, 245%. So that's a monstrous return. So if you're paying out, you know, £100 on a system, you know, you should be able to be expecting to get, you know, at least well over 2.5 times that investment back in the time it's saving. So fantastic return on investment. There's a whole host of other stats there that I found, like 22% of sales professionals are still actually unsure about what a CRM is, and that came from Finances Online. That stat was IBM. So we're going to look at number 3 is setting up your CRM for efficient lead tracking. So how do we do that? So we need to customize your CRM. It's got to fit your sales process. And every single business, every single organization is going to have a completely different kind of sales process. The first part of that step, though, is to define the sales process and workflow. And if you can kind of map out every step, every step of that customer journey, right from the first point of touch, point of contact, all the way through down to the final sale, that's going to help you, because those stages we're going to map those out in the software later on. You need to think about the key data points to track in your CRM. So for me personally, I've got the kind of, in terms of the marketing funnel, the awareness thing and seeing where people are. So I'm monitoring the number of social media engagements and things like that, the website clicks, seeing how many website clicks are coming through. And then in terms of the kind of CRM, I'm looking at how many people are joining mailing lists, so how many people are getting added to the CRM on a weekly and monthly basis. So we're constantly measuring this stuff. So you assess your business goals right at the start, and you think, right, where do I need to be in 90 days time? How many leads do I need to be coming in and nurturing, and how many demo calls do I need with people? And you can actually kind of reverse engineer your kind of business to work out how many people you need to be prospecting. And when you know your numbers, you know the areas to work harder. You can configure your CRM to match your sales process and track those key data points. So that's what we need to be doing here. And then the final step, once you've created all this, is to automate this sales process with your CRM. I love automation. This is one of my favorite bits. I mean, automating all the LinkedIn outreach, automating all the follow-up emails and things like that after meetings. It saves you hours and hours, and you can kind of build a business much quicker. It's a much agile way of doing business. So integrating your CRMs with other sales tools. Now, streamlining your sales process is all about how we go about integrating the CRM with other tools. And there's so many different tools out there. The marketplace is really crowded with a lot of tools. But ultimately, we're trying to reduce the number of kind of manual data entry, because that's where we fall down and we can make mistakes. So good quality data going into the system is vital, absolutely vital. It's going to save time and increase your efficiency down the line. Secondly, that data accuracy, which I just picked on, we need to ensure that that data is up to date, of course, and that's going to help us in terms of improving our decision making down the line. If that data is not quite up to date and there's old data there, we're kind of set up to fail, really. When we're having conversations with people and we've got the wrong information and it's not the right person, it's just a nightmare. So it's just the importance is getting that data. When I used to be in the police, we used to have ABC, and it was all about accuracy, brevity, and clarity. ABC when we come to recording data. Collaboration. So this is all about a CRM tool will basically allow you to enhance your collaboration. So integrating your CRM tool with other sales tools is going to improve the collaboration between different teams and departments if you're a larger organization. And it's going to just help everyone work much more effectively towards that shared goal. Finally, the bit I like, automating workflows. So integrating your CRM with other tools will help you to automate those workflows, such as scoring those leads, nurturing the leads, and then improving the lead management and boosting sales productivity. Getting a bit hot in here this morning, so I'm going to just turn my radiator down a couple of notches. Okay, so next up, some examples of sales tools that you can integrate with. So here's just a few basics. So email marketing software. Obviously, email marketing is a popular method of nurturing relationships with clients. So by integrating your CRM with an email marketing software, like something like MailChimp, Constant Contact, Active Campaigns, another, I think. I personally use something called MailerLite. So you can actually start to track the number of emails that have been opened, the number of clicks, and you can automate emails on the back of that. And then you can start to segment out your audience based on their behavior. So those that are always clicking, you can actually segment those that have clicked and then send them a specific campaign message just to kind of nurture them and close them in towards that goal. Marketing automation software. So there's big fat beefy platforms. I use HubSpot. It's a fantastic tool. It does so much. It's much more than just a contact database where you can keep a record. Yeah, so these sorts of systems, you can basically, they help you to nurture those leads with targeted content and personalized messaging. So obviously you can put in these extra filters and extra fields for personalization, which really help you to track that lead engagement and boost conversions. Sales engagement tools. So these are like SalesLoft or Outreach, and they help you to automate your outreach efforts, schedule automatically follow-up tasks, track emails, and phone activity can be logged as well. And you can all sync that data back to your CRM. Social media, it plays a big part in this whole ecosystem. I've just noticed there's a spelling mistake there in management. I'll have to fix that for the next one. Hootsuite, Sprout Social, Zoho Social. I'm a big fan of Zoho Social. It's a fantastic tool. So with these tools, you can actually start to monitor and respond to social media activity. You can track engagement. You can segment the audience based on that social media behavior as well. So don't neglect social media. It's there. Your audience are there. They're actively kind of liking, commenting, and posting. So we need to kind of engage with them. And then finally, customer support. So there are great customer support tools there that you can integrate with your CRM. So you have a full overview of that customer's journey and all their support queries and their progress. Tools like Zendesk, Freshdesk, they can actually help you to track all those customer interactions, prioritize tickets, and ensure a seamless customer experience, because that's what you want ideally. So there's several methods of integrating these types of tools together. A lot of tools will have what they call a native integration, and that's where the software developers have created a link between the two softwares. So as soon as there's something happens in one software, it goes off and sends this trigger, and a result happens in the other software. Most software tools, when they're created these days, are created with what we call APIs. And these are basically open ways of communicating in and out with software. So the popular tool to use for that is called Zapier, Z-A-P-I-E-R, Zapier.com. And that allows you to set up, you can have a free account, you can do about 100 actions a month, I think. And you can actually, so as you get a new customer in a CRM, you can tell that to go off and trigger maybe an email in a different tool. So integrate those tools with APIs and Zapier. Obviously, don't neglect training. If you work for a larger organization, you've got a team below you. It's vital to make sure they're all understanding everything on the same page, and just train your sales team up so they know how to use all these software tools effectively, really. Fourth, importing and organizing your LinkedIn leads into your CRM. I mean, I'm focusing on LinkedIn here a little bit, but obviously you could be sourcing your lead data from anywhere. So Sales Navigator LinkedIn, that's kind of one big data source. The data is pretty fresh and pretty current, so that we quite like that. Within the actual Leadeth tool, we've actually got access to over 640 million connected LinkedIn profiles, and we can access those profiles. We can enrich those profiles to access the contact details and get that best data into your CRM. But the benefits of importing is obviously one of the key benefits here is centralization. So having all your leads in one single place, it's going to make it easier for you to manage and track those leads, and streamlining, and that's the next stage. So that's all about importing LinkedIn leads to your CRM, and then when you start to streamline it, and it just brings everything together to save you time, basically, is what that's all about. Personalization, with LinkedIn lead data in your CRM, you can now start to personalize every single outreach and all your follow-up efforts. So, and that's based on the LinkedIn data that you're getting there and the profile data. So all the interactions with a company, and you can like create a personalized message or a personalized campaign because you're getting more information in, and then personalization really helps build that relationship much faster. So there's several ways of looking at categorizing as well, because that's quite important. But back on the personalization front, think about custom fields, so that are kind of specific to your industry or relevant to you. So you might want to think about more than just the company name or job title. Think about a bit of information that's going to really help them on that sales journey. So it could be maybe a track or a tag of previous software they're using. And when you have that information, you can gear your sales journey around that information. So be sure to segment leads and lead lists based on the stage of the cycle they're in. And that works really well because you can then prioritize people based on where they're at in their journey. Using notes and tasks, that helps you to track those interactions with each lead, especially if you're part of a bigger team where someone's hopping in, doing a bit of work on the lead, and then someone else comes in and hops in and does a bit of lead. That's where these systems are really great. And especially since COVID, with the increase of remote working, that keeps everyone on track. So you can also set up what we call lead scoring, and that's kind of percentages on how likely they are to go through to a sale. So that can sometimes help you to categorize the hotter ones from the not so hot leads as well. And when you categorize the leads by their stage, that allows you to then tailor your messaging and your approach to each specific prospect's needs. The idea is just move them through that funnel in the most efficient way, and these things will help you do that. So fifth, how can we go about nurturing our leads? Now we've got a CRM and workflow and automations in progress. Well, creating automated email campaigns to nurture your leads. So this involves setting up a series of emails that are automatically sent to the leads at specific intervals based on their behavior or engagement. So as soon as they open one email, that might trigger another one the next day. Two programs that are really good for that. So MailChimp is good, MailerLite, and of course, what I haven't said yet, Leadeth, the actual proprietary software that I offer, it includes all of these things in the same software. So happy to set up a demo call to show you all these elements in action and how it can work. But the biggest number one thing there is LinkedIn messaging. So people connect with thousands of people on LinkedIn, and they're growing and growing their reach. But what they fail to do is nudge those first degree connections again. People don't get another message from them for years and years. And it's a wasted opportunity. You know, you're growing your network. The idea is we need to be continually nurturing that network and feeding it and growing relationships. So go through your first degree connections, filter some in LinkedIn for a certain job role or whatever it is, and just set up a campaign to just focus on those guys and nurture those guys. And it's amazing when you start to do that, the kind of quick wins that you can get, people that are just sat there. It's low-hanging fruit. Setting up task reminders and alerts to stay on top of your leads. So this involves using your CRM's task management system to create reminders and alerts for follow-up actions with leads, such as making a phone call or sending a follow-up email. And that can help you to then ensure that you don't miss any important interactions with your leads. I've got a mountain of them to do. I've set some reminders from sales calls last week. So this week I'm going to kind of go through all of those and make sure they're ticked off. So phone calls can be a very effective way. I just put TFR, if you're wondering what TFR, that's in the follow-up and TFR. TFR, always get a sticky note and stick it on your computer. Take final responsibility. That's what it means. So if you're sending an email out or having a phone call with someone, just remember, take final responsibility at the end of that call. Say, yeah, I will phone you in 2 days' time or whatever that might be. It's vital. Going back to phone calls then, so it's quite an effective way to nurture your leads, but often personal contact like this can be a lot more engaging than emails, and other forms of automated communication can build a stronger relationship with the lead. But phone calls do have their place. Just bear in mind they're very time consuming, and it's important to use them and strategically combine them with your sales process at the right stage of the sales process, rather than kind of wasting time. They can be great because you can pre-qualify people with a phone call. 5 minutes, it might be all it takes, and that might help you with that sales journey. So using your CRM tools and reporting tools, you need to start tracking lead engagement, and this involves kind of reporting with analytics tools. So most of your CRM tools will have analytics in them to say kind of which leads are being engaged the most, and which leads are engaging with your brand and your content, and that's going to help you to identify those that are most engaged and which ones will need additional nurturing. So a few top tips on nurturing those prospects. Now let's have a look at the final section here. This is all about closing sales with accurate lead tracking data. So how to do that in your CRM. So this includes using your CRM to track deal progressions and analyzing your sales pipeline to identify any bottlenecks. So, these pinch points where stuff's just not getting through, what's holding you back. So when you start to utilize the CRM's data, you can start to make informed decisions. And by understanding where your leads are in that sales process, you can tailor your approach and messaging to help move them towards closing that deal. And additionally, by using data to inform your sales strategy, you're actually going to identify areas for improvement. So you can make adjustments and increase the chance of success. And without that data, I mean, you're kind of going blind, and it's very dangerous. So a couple of things here to note. So one of the primary benefits of using a CRM, of course, is to track this deal progression. And this allows us to see exactly where a deal is in that sales process. So you can also see who's responsible for each stage if you're part of a bigger team, and what actions need to be taken before that deal needs to proceed. And by having this information readily available in a CRM tool, all your sales reps are going to be more strategic in their approach, and they're going to close deals a lot more effectively. So when we start to analyze your sales pipeline, that can start to help you to identify those bottlenecks that I was saying. So there may be something that's hindering your sales process. So with that CRM, you can actually look at the data and say, right, what's going on? We've got this many calls are coming made here, this many emails are going here, but there's obviously a stage here that's taking much longer than it should be. So, or our deal is getting stuck. Is somebody not doing the phone calls? So once you've identified those bottlenecks, you can start to take action and address them, such as providing additional training for the team, or resources to your sales team to make sure it gets done. So it helps you to grow a bigger sales team quicker. And finally, the CRM collects a wealth of data on your leads. I mean, it's phenomenal how much data comes out these days. I've found a solution called IBM Watson that uses artificial intelligence, machine learning to understand your prospects' preferred learning style and approach. So it may say between certain times of the day, contact that person by this method. It's crazy. Just from analyzing things like their personal LinkedIn profile and a bit of information about them to come out with those decisions. So be mindful of AI and technology, because you can really leverage it to kind of help you close more deals. So once you've analyzed all this data, it gives you that valuable insight into your sales process, so you can make those informed decisions. So for example, if you can identify which marketing campaigns are generating the most leads, or which sales reps are closing the most deals, which products are the most popular amongst your customers, that information is going to help you to then allocate your resources to more effectively improve the overall sales strategy. So that's the bulk of the session. We normally do a section here called biggest takeaways, where we see what people's biggest takeaways were. So just have a think what your biggest takeaway is. Post it in the comments below on this video. It'd be great to engage with you a little bit more. I'm going to show you a quick overview of the Leadeth platform system. So this is the Leadeth engagement tool, and we can basically see we've got a list of prospects here. So we've got a tool called the Prospect Finder. The Prospect Finder allows us to enter a continent, a location. So it could be United Kingdom for me. We can enter a city if we want. We can have a look for a job title. So I'm looking for a financial CFO, Chief Financial Officer of a 11 to 50 size business. Okay. I've not specified a specific industry, but under company info, we could also choose the industry. And what this does basically is it searches for the prospects at the start of that funnel. And we've got all these prospects that come up. We can then choose to enrich that data. That uses 1 credit. Every client gets 250 free credits every month. We've now got a work email address, a personal email address. We've also got phone numbers for these prospects, which is fantastic. We can then add them to a campaign. And when we talk about a campaign, I'll just show you quickly what a campaign looks like in the Leadeth system. So we've actually got one here that I've made called Marketing Campaigns. This is based off LinkedIn prospects. So you can enter a LinkedIn search URL, We perform automated actions like profile views. We go down, we send a connection message. We then further drill down. If we're now connected with them, follow up with another message. If we're then, if they've received the following message, send them an email. Which email address do you want it to go to? The work email address, the personal email address, or the enriched email address? So you can really create really rich marketing funnels and workflows with this tool. It also has a video engagement tool. It's fantastic. It's how I've got myself, my last 3 clients was a campaign running on LinkedIn and just automating the process. And obviously, as we say, we can push all this to a pipeline. I use HubSpot and I can move around prospects from a card here on the deals. So yeah, just a quick overview there of the actual sales platform. Next step for you then is to head over to leadeth.io. That's leadeth.io/strategy. I'm providing a free one-to-one strategy session. And the idea is to help me to understand your business, identify any pain points and challenges that you might be facing in terms of lead generation. And I'll provide a customized solution that's going to help you achieve your goals. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Insta, and obviously LinkedIn, the main channel. That's where you can find me. It's been a pleasure to present this this masterclass with you. Next week, we're going to be looking at all things AI. I think I'm going to do quite a bit of work on how people can integrate AI into their outreach and stuff. And it's the AI machine learning space is moving very fast, and it's a really great market to be in at the moment. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and it'd be great to see you next week on the masterclass. Thank you. Bye.